Episode 9. Master Script, Health and the Language of the Body. Series title, Seth Speaks, The Eternal Validity of the Soul. The body is a living mirror. Most of us have been taught to view the human body as a complex biological machine, a collection of gears, pumps, and chemical reactions that eventually wear out or succumb to the elements. In this mainstream view, we often see health as the mere absence of malfunction and illness, as an invasive attack by external enemies, whether those are viruses, bacteria, or simply the bad luck of a genetic roll of the dice. But when the personality known as Seth began speaking through Jane Roberts in the 1960 seconds, he offered a paradigm shift that invites us to look much deeper into the fabric of our existence. He suggests that your body is not a static machine you inhabit, but a continuous, pulsating expression of your consciousness. It is a living, breathing mirror of your internal landscape, reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, expectations, and emotional states. In this episode, we explore Seth's revolutionary take on health, the idea that the body acts as a sophisticated translator for the psyche. We'll look at how symptoms might be viewed as a biological language designed to guide us back toward inner balance. We will also examine how modern fields like epigenetics, quantum biology, and psychoneuroimmunology are beginning to echo and align with these ideas, suggesting that our biological state is far more fluid and responsive to our minds than we once believed. Quick note: this episode explores metaphysical and psychological models of health. It is not medical advice or a substitute for professional healthcare. While Seth encourages looking at the meaning of illness, you should always seek professional medical care for any symptoms. We are here to explore the psychology and the metaphysics behind the biological form, the biology of belief, and the epigenetic revolution. For decades, the scientific world was dominated by a concept called genetic determinism, the idea that your DNA is a fixed, unchangeable blueprint that dictates your health from birth to death. But the emerging field of epigenetics has completely shifted this view. Scientists have found that genes are not locked in a permanent on or off position. Instead, they respond to signals from the environment. These signals include the biochemical soup produced by our chronic stress levels, our habitual emotions, and even the atmosphere of our beliefs. Seth's material, dictated decades before epigenetics became a buzzword, anticipated this shift perfectly. He argued that the body is in a state of constant, miraculous renewal. He noted that our cells, our proteins, and our very atoms are being replaced and rebuilt in a continuous stream of energy. He suggested that our mental state provides the internal weather, or the atmospheric conditions for this growth. If the mind consistently perceives the world as a place of threat or lack, the brain remains in a state of fight or flight, signaling the body to prioritize immediate survival over long-term cellular repair. Seth suggests that illness can sometimes be the body's way of physically manifesting an emotional knot or a psychological contradiction. In this framework, a symptom isn't an accident, it's a signal. It is the soul's way of saying that a specific belief or perspective, perhaps one about your worth, your safety, or your capabilities, is no longer in alignment with your true nature. Quantum biology and the energetic blueprint. To explore how an intangible thought might interface with a physical cell, we look to the burgeoning field of quantum biology. Researchers in this field are discovering that certain fundamental biological processes, like the way enzymes accelerate reactions, or how birds navigate the globe, rely on subtle quantum effects like tunneling and coherence. The body is not just chemical. It is electronic, vibrational, and highly sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. Seth described the bridge between mind and matter through what he called EE units, electromagnetic energy units. He proposed that these are the submicroscopic pixels of reality that respond directly to the frequency of our thoughts. In this model, every thought you think creates a literal pulse of energy that ripples through your nervous system and into your cellular structure. While science is still mapping the direct link between a specific thought and a specific quantum event in a cell, the metaphorical alignment is striking. It suggests that our core beliefs act like a tuning fork for our biology. Seth argued that the body possesses an innate, brilliant body intelligence that always strives for health. Health is the natural state of the soul expressed in matter. If we can shift our internal focus away from chronic anxiety and toward a genuine sense of safety and vitality, we are essentially clearing the signal. We create an internal environment where the body's natural quantum healing mechanisms can operate without the interference of limiting mental noise. The power of suggestion and the inner pharmacist. If the body is a mirror of the mind, then the most powerful tool in our health kit is suggestion. We see the physical reality of this through the placebo effect. When a patient experiences real physiological change, such as a reduction in inflammation or the release of dopamine simply because they expect to heal, they are demonstrating the mind's ability to trigger the body's internal pharmacy. Seth describes the human mind as being in a constant state of self-hypnosis. Every time we habitually tell ourselves a story about our weak immune system, our bad back, or our inevitable decline with age, we are giving a direct hypnotic suggestion to our inner self. And because the inner self is a faithful builder, it follows those instructions, manifesting those limitations in the flesh. This is where the power of conscious hypnosis and creative visualization comes into play. By entering a relaxed, focused state, we can bypass the critical, cynical, outer ego and speak directly to the inner architect of the body. Seth suggests we don't always need a professional to do this. We can use what he calls the point of power in the present moment. Instead of obsessing over the evidence of a symptom, which often creates a feedback loop of more anxiety and more symptoms, we can balance our necessary medical care with a deliberate focus on the feeling of vitality. It's about changing the internal face we present to the biological mirror. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about acknowledging that the physical symptom is the result of past energy, while the current energy is what determines the next cellular moment. 10, 15, 12, 45. Symptoms as biological metaphor. So, how do we begin to interpret this language of the body? Seth invites us to treat symptoms not as enemies to be crushed, but as a conversation to be had. He uses metaphorical examples to illustrate how the psyche communicates through the flesh, not as absolute medical diagnoses, but as points of deep personal inquiry. For instance, he might suggest that a persistent difficulty with the throat could symbolically represent an internal struggle to speak one's truth, or a fear of self-expression. Tension in the lower back might be explored as a physical metaphor for feeling unsupported by life, or carrying an undue burden of responsibility. These are not rigid rules, but probes designed to help you look into your own basement of beliefs. When we finally understand and act upon the message a symptom is carrying, the internal psychological tension often begins to resolve, and the symptom no longer has a biological reason to exist. Modern psychoneuroimmunology is now validating this mind-body link by showing how our emotional states directly impact our immune system's T cells and cytokines. We are learning that joy, a sense of purpose, and deep social connection are not just nice-to-have feelings, they are literal boosters for our biological resilience. Seth reminds us that the body is not a static object. It is a flowing, changing event. You are not a victim of your biology. You are an active participant in its creation. Every day, your body is renewed, and it is listening intently to the story you tell about who you are and what you deserve. Closing and community call to action. As we conclude this exploration, I want to challenge you to look at your body with a sense of wonder rather than worry. Your vitality is a reflection of your inner freedom. If you have been at war with your body, perhaps today is the day to declare a truce and start listening to what it has been trying to tell you. Comment below. Have you ever noticed a clear connection between a period of high emotional stress and a specific physical sensation? Have you ever tried using positive visualization alongside your medical care and noticed a shift in how you felt? Let's share our experiences and learn the language of the body together. If this exploration of the language of the body brought you a new perspective, please like the video. It helps our community of mental detectives reach those who are searching for these answers. And be sure to subscribe for episode 10. We will be moving into one of the most profound and difficult topics in the entire material: the nature of good and evil. We will look at why bad things happen in a universe Seth describes as being built on the foundation of love and value fulfillment. I am your host, and this is Seth Speaks. You are the architect of your experience. I'll see you in the next reality.